we have to do only till limit for our kids, right? If you do too much for the kids, that's something that may harm them eventually, right? Because they might get into some other philosophy. Hey guys, welcome to the Personal Finance, and today we are discussing one of the important budgeting topics, and that is education corpus, right? So I get a lot of times asked a simple question that, what is the budget that one should keep for higher education? Here, what we mean is that, typically for schooling and all, the parents will take care of in a normal budgeting process. That is basically during the retirement budgeting process. That's what they will take care of. But for higher education as a lump sum or a bucket, that if in case somebody wants to call it that way, right? What is that one should keep the budget for a education corpus? And here we're going to discuss about some of the philosophies and things like that. And let's jump into it. Okay. So again, like I said, so what is the education corpus to be considered, and what is it amount? Right. Before we jump into Excel's trying to find out what suffices or not in terms of corpus, we have to understand that we are trying to find out a worst case scenario here, because many of my subscribers who have got the Excel sheets were asking me a very simple question, that what should be the amount that we should consider, right? Based on some research, if at all any, right? Do we have any number in mind, right? So I said, yeah, okay, fine. I'll do some basic research that any one of you can do it, right? On internet. So we are choosing worst case. Worst case means that, for example, you may be the richest person in the world, but you may still do not want a 200 crore corpus for your child, right? Because there's nothing that 200 crore education can be offered, right? I mean, there's no college which takes that amount of fees. So what's the worst case? So instead of having a worst case scenario, that we thought, okay, fine. Let's have a typical case in India. What is the fees that one pays for education? Not the brightest of the kids, not putting them into rat race in terms of study, but then still, can we get a seat? Can we get a admission for them in some colleges? Right? Okay, that's the philosophy. But then before that, let's jump into some philosophies of funding education during fire, or in general itself. Right? There's nothing to do with fire. So, in my view, the best gift or inheritance for children is a good education that one can provide, and healthy and independent parents, right? For example, we for our kids definitely want to provide a good education, and if we give them our health, a good health, right, that itself is a boon to them, because they don't have to worry about us in terms of financial independence or in terms of our health, right? So that's the best gift that one can provide kids in terms of education and healthy and independent parents, right? Apart from this, they do not need any inheritance. So in coming to education, right, there's one simple concept that comes to education, or that comes to inheritance also, and that's a simple saying in Hindi, which means that पुत्र अगर सपूत है तो बड़ा होकर अपने आप काम कर लेगा, कमा लेगा, राइट? और मगर वही पूत कपूत है तो आपका कमाया हुआ भी उड़ा देगा, right? If the child is worthy and dutiful, then why save money? If child is unworthy and useless, then why save money? But then when I bounce this to many of the parents, they say this is all stupid, because we just don't want our child to struggle. We want them to really be putting their efforts, but we don't want them to struggle a lot, right? Because if we have some money, we will just put it and get them education without going through that daily grind of studying, right? Well, philosophy is philosophy, but this is what I wanted to put across to you, saying that, look, we have to do only till limit for our kids, right? If you do too much for the kids, that's something that may harm them eventually, right? Because they might get into some other philosophies and things like that, right? So having put this across to you, there are many ways that the parents think, right? Some parents think that I was privileged, that means parent was privileged, their parents supported them, right? So they will pass this privilege and fund their kids' higher education. Some say that I wasn't privileged, but I will pay for higher education for my kid. Some say I will fund graduation. The post-graduation, it's on the child. I will not fund it. If possible, I'll fund it, but currently no plans. Some say I will fund education entirely till she becomes financially independent. He or she becomes financially independent, right? Some say I will fund local higher education outside India, say US, Europe, Singapore. That will be, some scholarship that they have to fund. Some say I will take an education loan, let my child take loan, be responsible. If he or she is not able to take the loan, I will partially fund or things like that, right? So this is some philosophies that parents follow, but what we are trying to address here is an Indian education. I mean, India is not lagging behind. If you see, the education in India might be expensive, but then in terms of quality of education in other top tier 1 or in fact tier 2 cities, the qualities of education is at par with other countries, if you ask me, right? For example, IITs, of course, maybe IITs or AIMS or any other institute that you talk about tier 1 is, the daily grind might be there. They might be running behind credits, marks and things like that. But then more or less, I would say as and when we get into more years, say 5 or 10 years, probably Indian education, the colleges that they provide, right, it might eventually be as competitive as it can get with the US, Europe, Japan, Singapore, whatever, whichever country you want to pick to. So this translates to very simple sort of concept, right? One is I will be fully funding my kids' education. I'll be partially funding my kids' education, loan-based education, PG funding, financial independence. That means I will fund till my child is financially independent. That means education plus the job. But again, as I said, we would want to focus this video on a computation and some research on Indian education, right? Of course, that money can also be used for foreign education if at all you want to put her or him in some foreign university, right? Okay. So let's assume you fund. Let's assume the Indian parents funds. With all the philosophies having said that, let's assume the Indian parent funds the child's education. This is for one child. Okay, this is for one child. You can just multiply by 2 if you have 2 kids or 3 if you have 3 kids. Okay. So I am taking a typical engineering medical fees and an MBA fees. That means I'm considering graduation of engineering medical because they are kind of expensive. Okay. I am not saying a kid has to become an engineer or a medical. That's quite a boring profession already, right? But then the way I would want to introduce this concept is that we have to consider which is a little expensive because we are considering the worst case in this scenario. Again, I'm considering the worst case, keeping in mind that you are planning to enter fire, 100% fire. That's how you will see it in Excel sheets. Again, if you're a subscriber, go ahead, check the goal sheets. If you're working and you want to plan a goal, sheets are there for you. And just wait for some more time and you will get the clarity in this video. Okay. So again, because engineering, medicine and MBAs are kind of expensive, we will go ahead with that because research can be done easily. Again, kid can become a footballer, a designer, a cricketer, a dancer, whatever. But then since it's a little bit expensive, these courses are professional courses and hence I am trying to get these courses in terms of research. Now let's consider engineering. Okay. This is typical engineering. I mean, this is not for IIT. IIT doesn't have a management sort of fees or quota. But then I've taken one college of RV College Bangalore, which is a sort of tier 1 college in Karnataka. Sorry, top 100 in India, if I'm not wrong. Something like that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Put a comment down there, right? So it's RV College of Engineering in Bangalore. You can see the fees there, right? A computer science fees in 2021 I have put here. 2022 I have put in here. I have put in 2023 fees and I have put in 2024 fees. And this is 2025 fees of RV College. Now, if you see between 2020 and 2021, and this table you can read yourself, 50 lakhs, 57 lakhs, 64 lakhs, 64 lakhs and 68 lakhs were the fees for management quota. What is management quota? You walk in, you pay the fees. Child might write some basic exam of the college, or even if just some qualification exam the child writes, a 12th pass, can get admission to the RV college. Again, I am not discussing the ROI of such education. I am not discussing you pay 70 lakh rupees. What is the ROI of such education, right? I am not discussing that. I am just discussing a fund that one might pay for the kid. Now, if you see this table, the inflation rate, growth rate is about 8%. Okay. Add on top of this another 20% generous in terms of books, laptops, vehicles, hostels, travels, mess, whatever you want to add. So this is a snapshot source I have mentioned, snapshot from where I have got all this data from the university's website itself, from the RV College website itself, right? So this is the status of engineering. If you go to medicine, right? This is one of the colleges I have picked up, which is JNMC in Belgium. Check, right? It's about annual fees of 18 lakhs, 19 lakhs, 18 lakhs. That's what it hovers annually for a management seat. How do you get the admission? You just have to clear the NEET exam. That's all, right? Just have to clear an entrance exam. Ranking could be 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs. It's fine, right? At least that the child should do, right? So this is the fees that I mentioned, which is 2021 fees, 2022, 23 fees, 24 fees. Approximately what I've mentioned here is that the fees is around 73 lakhs all 5 years put together, right? So for engineering, the fees is about 64 lakhs. For medical, it's about 75 lakhs all put together, right? On top of that, you can add a generous 30% of fees for books, laptops, vehicles, two-wheelers, whatever they want to, hostels, travels. Somebody might say, come on, you're spoiling the kids, right? Let them do the hard work. But let's be a little more practical here in terms of, because many parents have said that, okay, fine, I will slog for another 1 or 2 years. Let my child have the best education. And there is also a philosophy which says that if child is smart enough to crack such an exam, they can rather go outward, outside India. Fine, whatever, right? So, but still, as a management sort of fees, it's about 75 to 80 lakh rupees. Again, it depends. As an average college, you can just increase by 2 more lakhs or 3 more lakhs. You will have it for a little more better colleges, right? So that's the college that I have considered right now. If you go to MBA, a PGP sort of fees will cost 26 lakh rupees for 2 years, right? MBA fees for 2 years. That's what it is. And this is for 22 to 24 batch, 22 to 24, 26 batch. Domestic IIM fees is what I've taken PGP. But then again, as I said, they have to study and crack this exam because there's nothing called as management fees. But then still, let's consider this 30 lakh rupees for an MBA fees for 2 years, right? Present value. The medical fees is growing by 1 or 2%. The MBA fees is growing by 5%. And engineering is about inflation of about 8%, right? All of this is happening. Again, let's quickly go to assumptions. Let's not talk about ROI of getting such an expensive education for kids. Some might say the corpus might make the kid financially independent. I mean, instead of spending 74 lakhs for the kid's education, I would rather put 74 lakhs in a aggressive fund, and that can grow, and I can get my kid basic education, and I can, help him or her jumpstart their financial independence journey or career or whatever, right? But then, as I said, I don't want to get into the discussions of ROI for this kind of education. I don't want to. Please don't comment about that. And again, some of the parents might fund this sort of fees and to their kids' startup ideas, right? They can fund it saying that, okay, fine, I'm going to fund you for 1 or 2 years. Or you go and get your ideas, you pitch your ideas to many of the people across. Till that point, I'm going to fund your home or whatever, right? You want to think it that way, right? However, education could be the biggest enabler for the future of kids, right? I mean, future-proofing future of kids, double futures, but still, yes, right? So that's how I would want you to think about this. And this is the culmination of all the thoughts that my subscribers had when I discussed multiple cases with them. Okay. So considering the highest fees present value, this is the tabulation that I want you to consider. Fees of engineering for the first year, you have to pay 32 lakh rupees, sorry. Second year, 12 lakh. Third year, 12 lakh. Fourth year, 12 lakh. Fees in medicine, 20, and 10 lakhs for 5 years. MBA fees, if somebody wants to do 15 lakhs, right? After that, and year 5, highest is whatever you can consider, 30 to 20, whatever US table you are saying. Again, as I just said, I am just picking the most expensive professional education, that is engineering and medical right now known to me, right? Of course, if you are a pilot, I don't think you can do it in this many rupees, because probably you have to put in a lot of hours. Maybe similar thing, if I'm not wrong. Maybe it's as similar as that if you want to become a pilot and commercial pilot or whatever, right? So say in 15 years, no one can predict which education or degree will get jobs. Again, as I said, I am not saying engineering, medical, these are typically boring fields right now. And I'm not saying that this will be the hot professions after 15 years or 10 years. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying education as typically will hover around this sort of fees. Beyond this, nobody can control. As I said, beyond this, even if you give 100 crores, we don't know what the education fees will be. One more note, a kid must pursue what makes her happy, right? I'm not saying that typical engineering, medicine, MBA, right? There are fashion designers, painters, footballers, cricketers, singers, artists, entrepreneurs, whatever, right? A kid can become whatever they want, right? As a parent, we're just allocating some amount of money. Okay? Yeah. So some sort of timelines and summary for the ones who are impatient can see this table and push off from here, no problem. Okay. So if your kid's education is 5 years down the line, within 5 years, I would say keep a corpus which is with a -1% real rate of return, right? With a 40-60 sort of equity debt philosophy. If education is within 5 to 7 years, I would say assume a 0% real rate of return with a 50-50 sort of philosophy in terms of equity debt. I would say if the education is between 7 to 10 years, plus 1% RRR, and about 10 years is plus 1.5% RRR, right? There's a detailed Excel calculation. For the ones who are patient, please wait and we'll jump to the Excel. For the ones who are impatient, look at this table, and if you understand RRR, just that should be sufficient for all of you to just consider that and, move out, no problem if you're busy, right? So let's jump to Excel and find out that what is the education corpus that one needs to allocate for the child, right? This is the same Excel that all of my subscribers have. Same Excel. In case you are new to the channel, please put me an email that is scrolling below. I will send the Excel to you for free. No problem at all, right? All that is for free. I'm considering a 40-year-old parent with an 8-year-old child, right? I'm considering allocation of 50-50 with an initial allocation of 1.5 crores. I'll show you how to change. I'm considering this as a faster simulation, and I'm considering it as 1000 simulation of Monte Carlo right now. Okay, all Monte Carlo. I'm considering Nifty levels, a mean level of 9.5% and a standard deviation of 8%. That means I'm not, the parent is not taking a lot of risk. The mean is only 9.5%. Pre-tax, post-tax is much less, right? So in terms of goal, before I jump to the Monte Carlo, this is the RRR analysis. Guys, many of you miss taxes. If you have to pay 20 lakh rupees per annum, that is post-tax. The pre-tax come to 28.4 lakh rupees. It's 28.4 lakh rupees is what you have to withdraw from your investments so that you pay 30% tax on that. And you pay your child's fees of 20 lakh rupees for that year, right? So please consider taxes. Somebody can say, okay, fine, you know what? Total amount for medicine is about 90 lakh rupees that you have considered for a typical college, right? We will just take 90 lakh rupees and plan. No. The plan should be meant for 1.278 crores. Because this is including taxes, because that is what you are going to withdraw from your investments. So if you see, if it is 0% real rate of return, it's 1.278 crores. If it is negative 1%, 1.42, it's minus 2%, 1.58 crores that you must allocate for your withdraw for your kid, right? So let's see in this bottom sub sheet what I have done. Again, as I said, this is the simulation which considers taxes, rebalancing, whatnot, everything that an Excel can offer, right? This is all, each year, for example, the kid is 8 years old. At 18 years of age, the kid will be needing this fees, right? You will be investing for the kid's education, right? So this is the inflation adjusted one. I have taken a 10% inflation. Although the research said that engineering is about 8% inflation, right? Average, and medicine is about 2% inflation, but I have taken a 10% inflation. Okay, now if you see the 10% inflation is applied here, right? Like the way the research said that the fees is fixed during the admission, right? So I have not taken inflation for the next 4 years. I have taken inflation only for the first year, and from then on, the first year's fees is similar. So I have taken medicine here because that's most expensive, right? And we'll try to simulate that. So again, as I said, 40 years old parent, 8 years old child, right? Let's go to goal 2. Okay, let's go to goal 2 and try to find out if we allocate 1 point. Let's focus only on goal 2 here because we are simulating only goal 2 in this case. That means 9.5% Nifty mean would mean that the equity can go to 25% highest and negative 6% lowest, right? In terms of it can hover around 9.5% mean, but then it could go 25% high and minus 6% also in few years. It will hover around these ranges, right? That's what it means. So I'm considering 1000 simulations. You can put 10,000 as well. Let's simulate goal with Let's simulate goal with 1.2 crores right now. Okay, let's simulate the goal with 1.2 crores. Let's see how and where we will end up with the with this sort of goal, right? So I'm trying to simulate this for 1,000 cycles, as you can see, and we'll see how and where we will end it. Okay, let's wait. Okay, so we are almost getting done, and we are done. Yeah, so this particular simulation says that 1.2 crores, the expenses are till you are 56. The expenses are, if you see the second graph, the expenses are till you are 56. So it's only 12.4% confidence that the 1.2 crores which I have allocated here will last for the child. Let's say we are going to allocate 1.5 crores. Let's see what is the confidence percentage that it will last. Let me run this again for 1,000 simulations, and we will check, and let's wait for it to complete 1,000. So we are almost getting done, and yeah, we are done, and let's go and check the confidence measure. That's good. So this says that there's a 80% confidence. That means 80% time Monte Carlo simulations have run. The 1.4 crores is sufficient for your child who is 8 years of age right now. Okay, and you are 40. So if you allocate 1.5 crores at the age of 40, right, absolute value, the child can complete his or her education based on this corpus. Again, this is the goal 2 simulation. For the ones who do not know, this Excel sheet is completely free, and you have, all the goals. For example, there is goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, goal 4, goal 5, everything, and you can feed in your salaries here, everything you can do right now, right? But as of today, I'm just simulating the goal 2, which is education goal. The goal 1 also is there, retirement. If you have not seen my previous video, go and check my previous video. That is about the goal 1. And if you just want to see here about the goal 1, see, the goal 1 has everything, right? Annual expenses, utilities, everything, right? All that you can imagine in terms of your retirement goal. So this, my dear friends, is a small simulation that I did. And again, just to go back and tell you that, this is about 1.5. So what did I keep? I kept 1.5 crores for a medicine field, right? Which will be similar to engineering as well. If you keep 1.5 crores, you can definitely take care of your kids' present value of 1.3. Of course, somebody might say money has to grow, not fall, right? Money has to grow at least by 2-3%, but then I have not taken that. So as I said, right, my previous, this slide said that you can consider a 0% real rate of return or minus 1% RRR, right? If the expense is coming in the next 5 years or 5 to 7 years, right? Again, if you want this sheet, do let me know. And as I always say, in case you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for being so long, and happy financial planning.